Are you ready to catapult your team to new heights? Do you need to lock on to problems and splash them with ease? Then stand by to recover your sanity and take your team to the next level with this week's mission from Locked On Leaders with Mission Commander Dave Rosenberg.
Welcome to Mission 5 for the Locked On Leader. I'm Dave Rosenberg, continuing on our quest to replace Thank God It's Friday with Thank God It's Monday. Today's mission is how to determine if a potential teammate is a behavioral fit for the job or position. Behavioral fit is one of the 6 criteria for which you should evaluate every job candidate or potential team member. Each job lends itself to different behaviors. When looking for pilots, the military is looking for someone who can follow procedures and be precise while working in a team. If the pilot is going to fly its fighters or attack aircraft, they need to also have controlled aggression and the will to dominate. If hiring a logistics officer, precision and steadiness are important. Similarly, in the private sector, the characteristics that make a good programmer, the ability to work alone and be precise, are different than the characteristics needed for a project manager, work in a team, overcome obstacles, and get along well with others, which are different than a salesman who need the drive to win, get along well with others, and adapt to dynamic circumstances, and may need to be precise depending on the product being sold. There are many different ways of measuring behavioral styles, different tools and assessments. There's DISC, StrengthsFinders, Kolbe, Myers-Briggs, just to name a few. The science behind all of these is valid. And the real question is, what information are you looking for and what information is provided? Let me give you an example. The Myers-Briggs Type Indicator measures people in 4 binary parameters. You are either an introvert or extrovert, sensing or intuitive, thinking or feeling, and finally, judging or perceiving. Now this yields 16 different combinations or 16 different Myers-Briggs types. DISC, on the other hand, also measures 4 different parameters: dominance, influence, steadiness, and compliance. However, where Myers-Briggs only provides 2 values per parameter, DISC measures each parameter on a 100 scale in increments of 5, producing 20 values per parameter. Now this will yield 160,000 different personality types. There are 34 different StrengthsFinder values broken into 4 categories. StrengthsFinder looks at our raw and innate talents and finds our areas of strength so we can focus on working in the areas we have the most aptitude for. While Kolbe looks at how much energy someone brings to a task. In other words, it addresses the question of if the tasks energize us. Kolbe also looks at 4 parameters, each on a 10-point scale, yielding 10,000 different variations. Now, all of these are self-reporting, meaning the accuracy of the test is dependent on the candor of the person taking the test. There are ways to ensure accuracy, and the testing company you choose has a huge impact on this. Now, which of these is the best? Well, that becomes a matter of personal choice. I know people that use each of these to great success, and there are plenty of coaches that use combination of these and more. Personally, I like DISC because I think it provides me with the most information. A certified professional behavioral analyst has been trained on the myriad of ways of interpreting a DISC profile. You can get most, if not all, the same information available from the other assessments I mentioned, and it helps you avoid making mistakes in hiring. For example, you're looking to hire a software developer who's going to be working alone by themselves most of the time. Yes, they're part of a team, but they're going to develop modules on their own. If you hire someone who is what we call a high I, that is, they have a high score in influence, it means they like the experience of working with other people. They like the ability to influence other people. They tend to be more garrulous and social. You're going to find this person over at the water cooler sharing their weekends and experiences with others. If their job is to spend time in a cubbyhole for hours writing code, that's not going to lend itself to this particular behavioral style. Additionally, since their job is to be exact and meticulous, they should also have a high C score. Finally, how quickly does the scope of work change? If projects are fairly stable and the scope or requirements are stagnant, then someone with a high S score will work out. If on the other hand, the job requires someone who can adapt quickly to change because the market or customer changes their mind, then a low S score is desirable. As you can see, every job favors its own specific behavioral style. This doesn't mean that people can't adapt to the required style. DISC measures how much we need to adapt as well. Now this is great for teams to see if you have people in the right jobs. The difference between our natural behavior and how much we adapt our behavior is a measure of the stress we feel in our job. For example, my natural C score is a 36. I'm not strongly compliant. The words to describe my natural compliance behaviors are firm, independent, and self-willed. However, my adapted C is a 66, which can be described as diplomatic, balanced judgment, open-minded, and accurate. Now, the way this manifests is that in low-stress situations, I can be open-minded, diplomatic, see all sides, and take the time to be precise. But when under duress, let's say there's a crisis, that goes out the window. And I think for myself, that is, stop following procedures, become a little headstrong and firm to get things done. Now, some of my clients chafe at the investment into assessments, but when you look at the cost of a bad hire, it's like getting insurance. An assessment alone is only a couple of $100s. If you want to engage in job benchmarking, it may be a couple of $1,000. If you hire a $15 hour employee who only lasts 5 months, it will cost you over $13,000 in wages, plus the additional loss in productivity while you deal with their shortcomings. Now, you can always try testing for these traits on your own, but they are nowhere near as accurate. For example, I often ask people who are going to be in a position where they need to be well organized to describe your car for me. What does it look like? Now, sometimes I'll get back, it's immaculate. There's nothing. Not a thing on the floor. I have a little waste container in case I have to throw stuff out because I hate a messy car. Other times I hear, well, I have kids and toys are all over the place and crumbs from them eating snacks. The former sounds more organized than the latter, but that's only one question. And assessments will ask questions about a particular trait multiple times in different ways that are disguised. So, when you're looking at filling a role, identify what the behaviors are that role will support. Then, either develop questions that reveal the behavior or use assessments to do it for you. In either case, make sure you hire somebody who naturally exhibits the behaviors you need. As always, if you have any questions or comments on this or any other leadership issue, please post them below. Remember, you can visit me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get notifications whenever I put up new content. Feel free to share this with your friends and visit my website at www.lockedonleadership.com. I'm Dave Rosenberg. I want you to be a Locked On Leader.